Come on. Hey everybody, it's Tuesday.
And
Finally.
Welcome to this crazy edition of the Night Bite.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Emily. And it looks like we are all connected now, which is really great. I'm not sure how many of you were able to tune in with us right at 7 a.m. or 7 p.m. But you know, we did try to go live, and we never have. Yeah, here we go. We
Thanks,
never
Andrew.
have technological issues, and tonight that's just what happened. So thank you so much for bearing with us. And now we are like centered and ready to go and ready to talk. I think the last time I started, I had said something about, you know, fishing report. We always start with that, but to be honest, we were at the Dakota Angler Ice Institute, and
Yeah.
so it was a really fun time. I think that there was a show earlier this season that we didn't make it to. You know, we were on vacation, you all know that. But it was a really great way to kick off our ice season. And so there were some new products. You know, we went live the first time, and we had talked about, you know, the things that other people are excited for. And
Hey Eric.
actually, we saw Eric there because one of the things that people were really excited for was the Euro tackle. You had reminded me that the name was a spade blade, and I was yeah, true. That's oh yeah, Eric. I'm sorry, it's a different Eric, but I saw your name and I was like, oh, that's the connection. But we were there, and that spade blade is really cool. That's what everyone was picking up when they were there. I was jokingly, or I guess it wasn't jokingly, I was trying to describe it. It has so many little what do you call all those things on it? It's just like
There's blades.
blades,
There's
all
blades
kinds
and
of
a
little
hook,
blades,
and
and
it's
it
a
just
little spade thing.
it's perfect for Christmas because it looks like it's decorated like a Christmas tree. And so that's just kind of funny, right? But as far as new things, we saw the new Widowmaker jigs. That is great. We're gonna be talking more about that coming up.
Yeah.
What else did we see?
We saw a really cool set of marine mounts by a company, I want to say TKC. TKI, CNC. You may know them if you ride snowmobiles. They make a bunch of aftermarket parts, but they are in the marine industry for the last 3 years. They have some really cool mounts. One thing, you know, that everybody knows about us is we really like crossover equipment. So equipment that you can use in your boat, open water, or on the land. You know, you can use it open water, you can use it hard water, and they have, with all the forward-facing technology, they have some really cool crossover stuff that not only goes from your boat to the ice, but also turns one of their existing rod holders that you can put a rod in. It actually is a clamp mount for your forward-facing sonar. So all that really cool stuff. They're going to be, you know, I think you'll be seeing a lot more of those guys around. That was really cool. iShack Share was there. They had their cool stuff. They're starting to get some good stuff there. So if you haven't looked at their website yet, that's going to be cool coming up. We got them on Thanksgiving on the show. Yeah, all kinds of good stuff at that show.
But the rest of it, we do have some videos that we made, I guess. So we put those on Facebook. We went live there. I know that with the podcast, we're able to go to Facebook and YouTube at the same time. We tried that one year and it degraded the quality of all those videos so hard. So we really have to look into options. But right now, if you're looking for those live videos, that is on Facebook.
Yeah, and it's on my list to put on YouTube. So they'll get up there eventually. Hopefully sooner than later. But yeah.
And otherwise, maybe we'll do some fun videos this weekend too, because we are going to be switching out our open water to ice fishing kind of. You know, we're going to be putting the boat away and getting out all the ice fishing stuff. So I'm really looking forward to that and seeing if we can share any of that out with you guys as well. Gosh, I think this is always the part of the show where we finish talking about our ice report or fishing report, and I always say, and let me know. Yeah, I always say, let me know where you're at and what the water temperatures are. But if you have been out, let me know what that is. I still am interested because, to be honest, I think way north they do have ice, and way south they like definitely don't. But there's lots of different stages in between there, and fish are doing a lot of different interesting things. So let us know where you're at, and when we go fishing this week, we'll let you know where we're at. So I guess with that, we are thinking ice season. So look at us. We even match sweatshirts. I guess I didn't even realize that till this point in the show. But that's because we are talking to somebody that we are super excited about. So let's bring Nick Cox to the show. Nick, thank you so much for being here.
Hey, Nick.
Hey, how you doing? Thank you for having me.
Better now that we got everything squared away, I think.
You know what? There's always some hurdles. You got to get through them. Smooth
My
sailing
whole life
from
is a hurdle. Emily's whole life is a hurdle. She has to live with me.
I know what that's like.
Something like that. So we always start out the conversation pretty similar. And we definitely know you, but maybe there are people here that don't. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Yeah. My name is Nick. I'm located in Minnesota. We're over in the Lake Minnetonka area. I'm fortunate enough to be part of Razr Ice Augers, and that consumes a lot of my time between September to April every year. But outside of that, I'm a happily married dad of 2 twin boys that are 7 that take a ton of time and energy, and just keep me working hard and keep my nose to the grindstone. So that's me in a nutshell.
So the cool thing about Razr is I think, it used to be such a new name. We spent so long telling people what Razr is. And it's cool because I don't feel like we have to do that quite as much. But like the generic, tell us about yourself, in case there is anybody that is new to Razr, can you give us kind of like an overview of what Razr is as a company?
Yeah, so Razr Ice Augers, we manufacture our own ice augers. We are a newer consumer-facing brand in, say, the last 5 years now, as Emily alluded to. But we have cut our teeth in the ice auger business and manufacturing side of that business for 30-plus years, basically bringing some of the most popular brands to market and providing them with different technologies for blades and blade carriages and flighting and just auger parts in general. We do some OEM stuff overseas. We create ice augers for Abu Garcia. We do some stuff in Europe. And then obviously here in the States, we've got Razr Ice Augers that we're very proud about. Because we're a manufacturer, we're not really pigeonholed into just providing 3 different sizes of ice augers or 2 different models. We make everything from hand augers to brushless drill adaptable augers to 40-volt lithium ice augers. So we've got everything covered. And we've got some really super popular products that kind of have helped us get to where we are. Just 5 years ago, it was kind of a hand auger and 40-volt lithium thing. And we added our Scout line, which has been extremely popular. These are lightweight augers that are a fraction of the price of competitors' augers with 5-year warranties, and they're available in 4-inch through 8-inch hole sizes. And then last year, we launched our new ultra lightweight, the Razr Synthetic Light and the Razr Synthetic Ultra, which are synthetic flutes on them that are replaceable. But what that does is eliminates a lot of metal as material and reduces the weight by 30 to 35% or so compared to like a just traditional metal auger that you probably have on the end of your power head or drill at some point if you haven't made that switch already. But that's kind of where we're at. We offer a little bit of everything, and then we offer a full line of supporting accessories. So blades, extensions, blade covers. We've got some hats. We've got bait pucks. We're the original manufacturer and inventor of bait pucks that everybody has seen on the market for years. That came from Razr's think tank. So, and just from a nutshell, look for bright orange ice augers, and you'll probably be looking at what you see there is a Razr Ice Auger. You can't miss them. They're bright orange and black. So,
Bobby's asking if Razr is going to be at the Oshkosh show.
Yes, we will. We will be at the Oshkosh show. We'll have our Razr booth. We'll be in a couple different retailers. We will be across the aisle from Wilderness, but there are other retailers that will be present at the show that are carrying Razr products. Critters is one of them. They have the product in store right now, actually, as well. So we will be there, and we are looking forward to the inaugural show. We're very excited about it.
It's going to be awesome. I think we have a lot of people there's a lot of high expectations for this show. I think we have a lot of great products here coming your way, and Razr being one of them is just really awesome, because I think that the more and more Emily and I are out on the ice, we've been fishing from the Winnebago system all the way up towards the northern part of Langlade now. And we're starting to see more and more of the orange on the ice. So it's been really awesome. And with so many options, it's hard to beat.
Mm-hmm. So I was going to say, Nick mentioned a bunch of the options. You mentioned a bunch of the Eric, you mentioned that you have a Razr. What Razr do you have? I'm interested in that. But then I was hoping that, Josh, could you put them on the screen? Like, when you pull up the website, can we look through the different models and like talk about them?
Yeah, that's nice. I see the comments from Eric too. He's Razr for the win, going on the 4th year with the same blades. And it's not something uncommon that we hear. Our blades are very high quality, curved style blades. And we've got a couple different models depending on what you're running in terms of the auger and kind of where you're fishing. If you're fishing in dirty windswept ice with debris, we've got a blade for that. If you're fishing in, really clean ice, just foot traffic only, no travel on the lakes, we've got a smooth blade for that. But yeah, look at that. That is the Razr website. So that is the bright orange auger we're talking about. So if you see those out there on the ice, maybe ask to see if you can give it a whirl.
Absolutely. I love letting people use mine. Most of the time I get it back. Sometimes it's a struggle.
And he says Emily sold a 5-inch Scout, it looks like, I'm assuming, to Eric back in Milwaukee, which would have been a few years ago with, I think it was a Up North Sports show. So yeah. Well, we're looking forward to coming back to Wisconsin on a grander scale as well.
Oh my gosh, actually, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. So if we are looking through these different models, where should we start?
Well, I mean, we can just start at like the basics right there. I mean, I think if we move, if we go from right to left, we're looking at the Scout. The only thing that would be maybe one spot before the Scout in terms of kind of what we offer would be our hand augers, right? So curved blade and flat blade hand augers. But this is the Scout model, and it's a full metal auger. They're available in 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8-inch hole sizes. They're equipped with our Razr curve blades, which are a smooth blade. Everything you need to attach this unit to a brushless drill is included in the box. We also do have a variation of the Razr Scout called the Razr Scout Kit. Gets a little confusing because there's about 8 SKUs or 10 SKUs, but you got the Razr Scout and you got the Scout Kit. Everything you need in both, or everything that you need to connect it to a drill, is included in both those boxes. But the Scout Kit is going to come with a hand auger handle. And some people might balk at that or say, I'll never use that. But there are many different areas of the ice belt where some places get 8 inches of ice on a really great year. And so some of the different power heads or different drills might be a little overkill for some of these regions. So we offered this all-in-one kit for a really great price. And again, 5-year warranty. So those augers, like an 8-inch fully metal auger is going to weigh in at 7 pounds on the Scout, just about 7 pounds. And you go down from there, obviously, as you get all the way down to our 4-inch auger, which is great for checking ice and building roads or checking structure, running AquaView underwater cameras or whatever it is that you're running. That's a really awesome, tremendous value for the price that you can get it at on retail. And who knows, if you come to the shows, you never know what these dealers are going to do for pricing. So
right. Well, and I think honestly, like, if you're not one of those guys that or gals that's like really trying to cut weight for cutting weight's sake, we're talking, a couple pounds here and there. These scouts are really like, they're gonna last you your whole life. Like they are built very sturdy. I don't think I've ever had any issues like having it attached to the drill. Uh, like you said, I use the 4-inch a lot during the early ice, and yeah, they're just, it's an awesome unit for the price, I guess, where I'm going with it. Like,
Yeah.
super.
And I mean, there are different ice tools out there for checking ice. There's chisels. There's different tools that you can attach to drills that have similar names as the Razor Scout. But what you're getting with that Razor Scout for like a 4-inch, $72.99. Blades are replaceable. They're $24.99 to replace a set of blades. The amount of times you're probably going to be using this, you probably won't have to replace the blades, but every 5 years.
Right.
And it comes with a 5-year warranty. So it's like, hook this thing up to the drill, stop chiseling. A chisel is heavier than the 4-inch Scout, I can tell you that. It's less fatiguing on your body. It's just a faster way to go ahead and get out on the ice safely, and doing it in a manner where you're actually quickly able to check exactly how much ice is as you go and progress, especially during early ice. So for $72.99, that Scout 4-inch auger it's just been a heavy seller for us for the last 4 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
For people who I guess are looking for this, there is also synthetic light. I guess, and also synthetic ultra, but the light comes first. I guess we got to talk about one at a time. I just get excited. So, okay. So where should we start with this?
So if you look at like the Scout, what we were just looking at, the images of the Scout and the image of the synthetic light that you're seeing on the screen, they look very similar. The only difference is the flutes or the flighting that are going down the auger, right? And then the shaft, and you got a locking collar there. But this is a fully plastic fluted model. So everything that touches ice is steel. I should say that. We put steel where steel needs to be and plastic where plastic can be. So these flutes, they don't have any contact with the ice. They don't serve any purpose on an auger other than removing shavings from your hole. So you're not sitting there having to flush a hole out numerous times or having slush fall back into your hole. You can get right to fishing, right? But the biggest difference between the Scout and the light is that the light is going to give you just a couple extra pounds weight savings, but they're going to be built on the same platform. So both the Scout and the light, they can collapse down to 31 inches. That metal shaft there that you see with the chuck adapter on it, that can go up and down into the auger. So right now, as you see it on your screen, it's a 42-inch auger. That's the same size auger as any K-drill, pistol bit, ultra, light flight, any of that stuff that you're going to find out on the market. This is the same size auger, but the difference is you can compact it down to 31 inches. And like I mentioned to and alluded to earlier, different regions have different requirements in terms of the ice belt. So where we might get 36 inches of ice on a great year, somebody is only getting 8 inches of ice. The Scout and the light are really, really, really great all-season performers, but they really, really take the win and take the category when you're able to use this type of auger in a region where you're getting 25 inches or less of ice on average in a given year. And when you go up to that 25, 28 inches of ice or plus, that's when you're probably wanting to look and consider like our full size unit, the ultras. So again, very compact, easily storable, can hook a hand auger handle up to it if you're going into non-motorized lakes or foot traffic lakes where you can't even have a drill because it's considered a motor. And we do a little bit of that up in northern Minnesota. But those are those two platforms. It's just a lighter version of the really portable Scout that has been so popular. And when we were looking at these things, we had so many requests that I love the Scout. I love the Scout. Can you drop a little weight? Can you drop a little weight? So we built that synthetic light platform because people had asked for it. And we did launch it last year, and it was a great seller. the biggest difference, I guess, between the Scout and the lights again is just size. Not the size, but just the flighting. Basically, all the cutting performance, the blade technology, the center point, the adapter, the flange, everything else is the same.
And then while we're here, I was going to point out, I know it's like pretty small. I wonder if I can zoom in. Maybe that's hard. Can you see that a little better? Yeah. The Easy View safety flange is like, okay, yeah. I'm sorry. I hate the name of it because it's like a mouthful, but that is exactly what it is. You know, so that's perfect. But, you know, as somebody who, well, that's not true, not about myself. I was going to say, as somebody who's never used one, you know, that looks like it can be really intimidating. Like people will be like, oh, it's like a knee slapper or whatever.
Knee knocker 5,000.
So I guess, you know, one of the as somebody who has used it, you know, it's not like that at all. You know, I just wanted to bring this up because a lot of times when people look at this, we're talking about all these great details and the stuff, and you're like throwing out all the specs, and it's like amazing. It's like, how could you not want one of these, you know? But when you come upon those little details and it stops you, and it's like, wait, right? Because you think of an auger and you attach it to the drill, and then it's like spinning fast, and so how could that not hurt, right? But it doesn't. It just doesn't. It's a very light little piece of plastic, but somehow also durable enough that, like, if it were to magically come off your drill, that it does catch it.
Yep. And it's free floating and loose on the shaft, on the metal shaft, the safety flange. If you put it up against, how we designed it is on every other brushless drill auger, you see a disc that's right there below the chuck. And a lot of these drills, there's a couple things that we looked at. One is like, hey, there's lights on all these drills, but that disc just bounced that light right back up into your face. You can't see. There's no light penetration down to the hole or where you're drilling. So for low light periods, it's nice. It's not why we designed it, though. That's one of those add-on benefits. Why we designed this is because we watched and watched and watched when we were doing this stuff. Is like, how can we do this differently? Do we want a disc? We can easily make a disc. But we watched, and what we noticed is that when you have a disc and you're drilling, whether you're on center with your body, right, when you're looking down, one thing you have to do, and that's just natural for us to do, is to look where we're drilling. And the average ice angler is going to look at those blades engaging in the ice and watch that hole being drilled. Well, when you have a disc, I'm just going to center myself here, and then I'm going to start drilling my hole. And this goes this way, and this goes this way. And so now, even if it's just a couple degrees, I'm just taking and fatiguing my motor and my battery a little bit more. So our safety flange allows you to see, no matter how you're drilling, whether it's on center, on the left of your body, or on the right of your body, this safety flange will just stop moving if it touches you, but you're able to actually see exactly where you're drilling every single time. And if you're in doing the low light stuff or night bite or early morning, all that LED light output from the handle on your Milwaukee or your DeWalt or whatever drill you're running is going to get down there. It's just going to be a nice, easier way to fish. So maybe we overthought it, or maybe it just hadn't been thought about enough. But we just had to get away from just a big frisbee on the top of the auger. I mean, it's just, you've seen it done 100 times and they work, but so does this. So just one, you know, and it makes it nice and easy. And you can set the auger, once you take this auger off the drill chuck, off the adapter, and you set it down on the back of your vehicle, it just lays flat. It's never at 45-degree angle or anything like that. It's just always flat, you know.
Well, you're making a really interesting point about, you know, when you do have that disc to look around, that it makes your hole not very straight. Now, when you, I don't know, when you have a smaller hole, you're drilling a 6, a 5, a 4, even, I don't know, when you're offset, that really narrows down that hole size. And so if you're already drilling kind of small, you know, that's something to consider. But it also makes me think of if you're drilling like a really big hole, if you're doing like a 10-inch or something, you know, and you, does that leave that bottom edge like a little bit sharper? I don't know. Maybe that's in my mind. That's what I think. And so I guess I'm just saying I think it's important to drill a straight hole like that. So you're making a cool point.
I mean, we're using batteries and motors. So like, you know, you wouldn't leave your headlights on in your vehicle in your driveway overnight, right? Just things we can eliminate to make our stuff run better. That might be not the best analogy, but it's just, you know, drill a straight hole. That's it. We're not here to do anything different other than just like Bro says, just drill a straight hole. Just raise a straight hole. That's all you want to do. And now keep your batteries and your drill running so you can use it in the middle of summer, you know, on the deer stand prep or at the cabin, whatever. So that's a tool you can use year round, and you should be able to treat it like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I guess while we're talking about this, I do have, I guess, one more question. You know, we're talking through all these different augers and all these options and the sizes. So once you do start to narrow down, like maybe the auger that's for you, and I know we have more to still go, I'm not cutting us off here, but how do you choose what size hole is best for you? Because I think that there was like this, I don't want to say an old mentality, you know, maybe that's wrong, but there is sometimes you have people that walk up to the booth. They're like, I need a 10-inch hole. Like, do you sell a 12-inch hole? And, you know, and it's like, that's great. That's great. Like maybe you are fishing like giant pike or like lake trout or like alligators or like sharks, or I don't know what you're up to or what whales swim in your lakes. Right. But I mean, sometimes people are hesitant to go smaller. So how do you know what is right for you?
Well, you know, that is very true, because we do get a lot of people coming out, and by default, they just, this is the size they've always had. This is the size they've always seen. This is the size that I'm getting. Wow. What do you mean? Why would I get anything else? And it's just a matter, again, too, like we're coming off of gas technology, right? Where motors can handle whatever, really. You got to clean the carb, you got to do the oil, right? But, you know, smaller hole size is going to get you more holes. And in the game of the modern ice angler, it's all about, you know, accessibility, portability, mobility, you know, how fast can we get this done? And if we're going to be forced to use battery technology in a freezing cold environment, how can we do it? How can we do it smart? Now, I will say this, pretty much any auger that we sell, for the average angler with a 5 amp hour battery, you're going to get more than enough holes that you're actually going to be out there drilling. So don't let that deter you. But, you know, as you think about the species you're targeting or what you're doing, you know, 8 inches will be the most common size across the ice belt. Just again, traditionally, that's what's been available and sold. And 8 is great, but we also offer a 7-inch. And so why a 7? Well, the battery and the motor are actually moving 60% less material at the bottom of the hole between an 8-inch and a 7-inch. So your drill and your battery are working 60% less just for that 1 inch. And if you look at the fish you're catching and say, geez, you know, this 8-inch is great, but I wish I could get a couple more holes out there for this, you know, 15-hour day that I'm doing out on the lake, and I'm chasing these, or geez, you know, I could probably go down an inch and catch every one of these fish that I'm catching out of an 8-inch hole, because what goes up in 8 is a fish that goes up in 8 will go up a 7, but oftentimes you've got that slightly smaller hole, and if it comes up, like, you know, it's not going to be able to turn around and just jump back down, right? So just think about, you know, do you really need the hole size you're using? Think about the battery and the performance of your gear. How many holes do you need? I definitely would say, you know, 4-inch is great for scouting, for checking ice, for doing camera work. It's great for wheelhouse anglers that want to get out and are maybe set up on Mille Lacs for the weekend. Maybe they've never done it, or they're on red and they want to just go out and explore some other stuff. They don't have a live scope or a mega live, and but they've got an AquaView and they've got a $72 4-inch scout, and they go drill 100 holes and not come in looking for water and out of breath. Like, you know, I mean, it's just being, you have this new equipment available to you and you can use it to do the same thing that others are doing with just, you know, a little bit different stuff. But 4-inch is great for camera work. 5-inch and 6-inch are great for panfish. When you're deciding what you want between the two, if you're going to be fishing some walleyes or something a little bit larger species mixed in with your panfish, maybe go to a 6. But if you're primarily focused on like gills or perch, a 5 is great for you. And then you just move up the line from there, obviously. What's nice about our augers is that they all have center points. So we've seen a lot of people do this that say they need a bigger hole, and they will Mickey Mouse, their 3 holes. And I mean, it looks like a polar plunge when you're walking up to them when you're on the lake. So they're just huge craters in the lake, but you can drill 3 holes separate and have a nice size hole if you're lake trout fishing, or if you're up in War Road and you're doing some trophy pike, or you're with Donnie and the boys up there at Rainy Lake Remote. These are little tricks and tools that you can use, but we offer every size. So don't let us tell you need this, because we're ready. If you need an auger, we make them in 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 10. So come on down. We've got probably something for you, and we can figure out the details and the specifics to what you need and why you need it. And then I think the only thing beyond this light was the Ultra. I don't know if you wanted to talk about that.
Yeah.
Which is kind of our flagship. Full size, 42-inch bit, drills through 36 inches of ice with no extension necessary. Attaches to your brushless drill or gas or lithium power head. Very adaptable. You can see it side by side. It's on our 40-volt power head, and then on one of our Milwaukees there in a side-by-side picture. But this is a great unit. The 8-inch full-size unit is under 6 pounds, and really happy. These things selling like crazy. They're all sub 200 before any discounts. So, compared to what others are asking for their 8-inch augers, you're going to save 40, 50, 60 bucks. We're going to warranty these units for 3 years. So we stand behind them. There's replacement blades readily available. But I think, beyond that, this is the auger you need if you're fishing Minnesota, Wisconsin, the UP, if you're fishing areas of North Dakota, South Dakota, where you're going to get that thicker ice. Or just if you like to have the latest and greatest stuff, this is also a good one to have. I think full retail on an 8-inch is $194.99. I'm sure we'll see some show specials this year.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the coolest thing about all of these series of augers, from the Scout to the Light to the Ultra, is last year we launched our exclusive ice wing technology, which we're thrilled about. I mean, it took us years to engineer this, and we finally got it. We launched it only on our 8-inch units last year, 8-inch Scouts, 8-inch Lights, and 8-inch Ultras. This year, new for us is we've put that on all of our 6-inch units. So 6-inch Scouts, 6-inch Lights, 6-inch Ultras will all have our Razr Ice Wing technology. No, you guys have talked about it before. I see Alex Tim is in here. He's done a great video with us last year in Sioux Falls talking about the ice wings, what they do. But essentially, it's allows for the smoothest breakthrough in auger technology in terms of cutting a hole. You transition from the last layer of ice to the water. You're never going to have any jarring or hang up. It's literally just the smoothest transition, and it's really, really good for your brushless drills and your batteries. Again, it comes down to not just like the fear of like something catching on one of these drills, right? But we've eliminated that. Now the additional benefits are we can get more holes per charge. Our drills last longer because they're not jamming up in the ice. They're not getting voltage surges. So we're really excited about that. The 6-inch units, we'll have them all equipped with ice wings this year. So that's one of the new things we're after.
That's awesome.
I feel like you just said this, but I feel like it's like such a good point that I'm maybe going to repeat it, because that is so important to an angler when you're going out there and you have, your whole setup, your auger matched with your drill and this and that. And then you go out there and then you just, I don't know if it's the type of ice. I don't know what it is. Sometimes you drill that hole in the bottom and it like tweaks like that, and I think first of all, that's like a little bit unsafe. I think sometimes that's where people like strain their wrists or things like that. But like you're saying, that's really tough on your drill. And so when you add those ice wings to the bottom of that auger and it helps guide it through that ice, it's amazing the difference that makes. It's a safer unit for us. We can like keep going throughout the day. That's great, fine. But I'm the kind of person who could just be safe. I feel like everyone just says that or whatever. But when you have something that's actually going to save a little bit on your drill, because quite frankly, when we talk about drilling through ice, that takes a lot of power. Like that takes really a lot of energy. And anybody who has used an underpowered drill can attest to that. If you get through one hole, and so when you have that drill unit that you can keep up and keep bringing with you time after time, I mean, that is the goal.
Yeah. And I think you see the theme here, besides our 40-volt lithium, which is really great for certain applications. I think we're really taking the position that the brushless drills are the future of the ice auger space. Mm-hmm. As a manufacturer, I don't make my own batteries. I use Samsung batteries. I don't make my own motors. I've got to source these things. I don't know how long they're going to be available. We warranty these things for so many years, but what is the economic life of a 24-volt or a 40-volt battery? Some would say 5 to 7 years. We've got customers out there have no issues whatsoever, but there is a point in time when the battery will go bad on your devices, no matter what it is that you're running, whether it be your vehicle, your auger, your laptop, anything. And so when we're looking at like just comparing, what you're getting and why we're focused on this brushless drill space, the Milwaukees, the DeWalts of the world, these two organizations have so much money tied up in research and development. They're consistently improving their products. They know what they're being used for. They're not proprietary to an ice auger company. It's not something that's not going to be available in 5 to 7 years. So when you're looking, if you're in this point where you're like, hey, I might consider buying an auger, definitely think, do you have the drill? If you already have the drill, it's one less expense. But for the long run, it's a year-round tool that you can use for various projects. It's a one battery system, which is great. I'm guilty of it. I fell victim to the Milwaukees, and a lot of people fall victim to whatever. We can say fall victim, but I truly enjoy being able to take my battery from my chainsaw to my leaf blower to my ice auger and not have a bunch of just stuff that I don't know how that's going to work. I can go into any hardware store, pick up a replacement if I need. And the cool thing is that these tools used to power these augers, they're not just being sold across the ice belt. These are sold across the country. So, just take in consideration, when you're looking at these augers or 40-volt lithium augers with 4 amp hour or 5 amp hour batteries, it's like a free battery is a great promotion, but think about the future. How long is the battery that's not being used going to last? Because one thing is true with lithium augers and lithium batteries is you have to use this stuff to keep it in top shape, to keep the charge levels going, to keep the life of that battery. And when you have something that's going to sit in your garage or in your shed or in your basement for 7, 8, 9 months out of the year, it's not going to be what you expected, like with your gas auger, your old Jiffy Model 30 that your grandfather's dad ran, and it's still going today if you just, clean up the gummed up carb a little bit, right? So it's just a different experience, and we're looking at things from a different level. We do offer that 40-volt lithium again, but I think that truly where we feel the future is with just lighter weight, more accessible, better powered products, from companies that aren't sourcing it, but rather companies that's what they do, and this is what we do. And together they pair up, and it's been really nice and smooth. I mean, we can talk about it till we're blue in the face, but until you actually try one, that's what's been the real growth of Razr is people try it, they let a friend try it, they come out and buy one, their buddy gets one. It's been very organic in that sense.
Well, and I love how you're talking about, kind of the future of ice augers and the customized experience or something, because I think that's exactly what is happening here, is that, each angler has the ability to, find the drill or the power source that they prefer, go through the different augers that we talked about, find, the auger that works best for you at the height that works best for you, made out of the material that works best for you, like all of these different things, like you get to choose that. And I think that's why I came into this episode of this podcast, like let's talk about all these things, because like where do you start, and then on top of all those other things, like what we talked about, hole size, it's like, oh my gosh, and all of that, all of those different options aren't even taking into account what Josh, I feel like you read my mind, what he pulled up here on the screen, because we have an assortment of blades that are here. And so you had mentioned like, this auger comes with this blade, or this auger comes with this blade, or, you can look up those specs per the auger that you're looking at for sure. But a lot of them you can switch over. So if you are like a diehard chipper blade person, like there's a chipper blade here, or that curved blade, super smooth experience, like that's something that you get to choose. And then there is also this pro curve blade. So I was wondering if you can kind of highlight the different blades that you have and when you would choose each.
Sure. So just going to start at the top since I got one here. This is a flat blade. This is very easy to manufacture. It's a piece of sharpened steel. Anybody can really make them. That's why you see these blades on a majority of the augers in the U.S. ice fishing market. We only put those on our hand augers. All right. So then you moved up from a flat shaver style blade to a smooth shaver style blade, and just comparing them, you can see the definitive shape difference. You can see that one's got pitch to it and a curvature, the other is just flat. This blade here is going to go on our hand augers, it's going to go on the Razr Scouts, and it's going to go on the synthetic lights. It's available in 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8-inch hole sizes, and it's got a smooth edge. When we say curved blades with smooth edge, that's what we mean. This will get you plenty of holes. I mean, it'll get you through a season or two without problems. If you're fishing in debris like South Dakota, or you're fishing at any lake in Wisconsin or Minnesota where you've got, on a traditional year, you got vehicle traffic coming off the roads onto the lake, driving you might hit debris from those vehicles, and just the debris they're bringing in on the lake. If a piece of debris hits this style blade, same as with this style blade, doesn't matter which one it is, see that smooth edge, the debris will take onto the cutting edge and it'll ride that whole way up, and it's dulling this blade, and it's just lowering the lifetime use of this blade. At some point you'll need to replace it when you have to start pushing down, to drill that hole or to get the auger blade to bite. That's not how it should work. A razor should not work like that. So one thing you can do to have a slightly more durable blade, and what comes standard on our synthetic Ultra, but also you can upgrade your synthetic light or your Razr Scout to our pro curve blades. So once again, just side-by-side difference: smooth curve blade, pro curve blade. If you look at the cutting edge, you'll see the serrations here. Going back to the example with the debris, if you're shaving through the ice and you hit a piece of debris, a piece of sand, a grain of sand or anything, it's going to go ahead and hit into one of these serrations, and it's just going to basically bounce off the blade. So you're only dulling that one area versus that whole cutting edge. These are a more durable blade. They're slightly more expensive, but like I said, these are going to go on all the Ultras standard. These will be an upgradable option for the lights. These are an upgradable option for the Scouts. They're not available for hand augers. But those are really the 3 style of blades that we are focused on nowadays. We used to offer chipper blades, which is just like a really heavy-duty serrated blade, single blade system that was great for re-drilling holes in the wheelhouses and whatnot. But what we figured is, since we figured out ice wings, and since drills have variable speed control, you can go and re-drill holes all day long with your Razr Synthetic Ultra, or, you know, really start with the Ultra. But if you upgrade your blades on a Scout or a Light, you can re-drill those holes all day long without any problem. So we actually are no longer looking at chipper blades as a real viable option, especially as we get into the battery powered market, because again, it's just, there's less holes per charge. They're really heavy and, you know, hard on the drill and the motor, the battery, versus, you know, kind of something like this where, you know, this curvature of this blade is what draws it into the ice, not your downward pressure. Okay, so you're not putting a lot of weight forward on it, leaning into it. You're just giving a little bit of push down, hit the go button, and the curvature of the blade. I describe it like a deck screw into wood. So if you've ever built a deck or got to play around with tools like that, you put that deck screw in and it just sucks down. And that's very much what our curved blade technology does. So yeah, I guess from a high level, we do have some really in detail data on our blades and just some walkthrough videos on our YouTube channel. And so those are available there. And also you can find them on Facebook. But that one where you were on the blades page on the website, that's the video I'm referencing to. We walk through and show examples of all these different units. We walk through all these different units and show all of that.
Awesome.
I see one question from Baron.
Oh.
Synthetic Light 8-inch is about 5 pounds.
Yeah.
That's the Synthetic Light.
You were like quick over there. I didn't even see that question yet. Bam.
Well, you're over here looking at the other
I was
thing.
looking at the auger. I was just so excited because we were talking about blades, and I guess here was my thought. I personally notice a huge difference using that curved blade because it is a different cut. And so when you talk about the chipper blades, and like it's kind of a tough drill sometimes. It's like it really grinds that ice out. And if you see people with a chipper blade and you see the ice that comes out of that hole, it's really like it just is like ground out of
like
there.
a
It's
snow
crazy
cone.
looking.
Snow cone versus chunks.
Well, but with Razr, it's like a snow cone. Yeah. And so it's
shaving.
very smooth. It's very fast, like you're saying. But then like all those little shavings around the hole, like it's really nice with your boot. You just like push it away like light snow or something, or bring your kids, you know, they'll make snow cones, because it really is such a difference in the texture and a difference in that cut. So that's what I was thinking about. That's what I was distracted by. It's a huge difference.
You know, and I'm a little off topic, but we're kind of on the topic of drilling holes. Yeah. So, you know, like Bro, one of his favorite things to do with those ice shavings, because they don't fall back in the hole. They will perfectly mound up on the side of your hole for you with the Razr flating, the way we've designed it. But Bro, if I'm out with him, he makes me kick over all of that snow because he likes to stealth fish and on his favorite lake, Upper Stealth. So he doesn't let us, he makes us do the sneaky fishing where we actually have to kick away that slush. So it just looks like flat surface from shore or from the landing if people are looking to see what's going on out there. But you know, you can be sneaky and fish at the same time with the Razr.
Well, the other thing, one of the other things I grew up using the curved blades my whole life. Different color augers at different color times, but I've always used those. I've always used those shavings to really pack in the edges of my either my shack, my flip over, or my hub. Now, you know, it really makes a big difference when you, especially if you're sitting in a spot for a while and you get or a windy day, you know, and having the shavings versus the chunks, you can really, you know, seal up your hub. You do have to, if you are fishing for a long time and if you're fishing overnight, you got to be mindful of your venting if you're running a heater, because you can seal it up pretty good.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Yeah, that's one of my uses for the shavings.
I don't mean to interrupt, but I was just thinking, I had this wild thought where it's like, what if we made an auger that had a pump that, like, Emily held the hose, you drilled the hole, and then you just like fill in and you're pumping like right around your. Could see that next year.
Oh, that's Emily doesn't.
But no, the Razr, the ice augers, like you guys have seen them, used them, been a part of kind of watching this whole thing grow from year one to today. And, all we can do is just be humble and try to do the best we can and just appreciate our customers, take care of them if something does arise. More sales never led to better service, right? But better service always leads to more sales, and we're firm believers in that. It sounds kind of corny, but we'd appreciate a chance at your business, and if you don't like it, sell it.
Well, and here's
I don't want to. Don't tell me that. I love my auger.
So I pulled I quick pulled this page up. So this is under the buy now tab. So it really pulls up all of the stuff that's available on the website. Here's that Easy View safety flange there. You got a few auger extensions. So you have something here called the Ultra drill plate adapter, drill plate extensions. You want to kind of talk about that, because I know we talked about how like the ice wings have really helped the jerking and stuff, but still some people don't feel comfortable using the handle and the drill by itself. They still want that feel of the auger, and so there's options for that too.
Yep. So traditionally, right, we're always in a standard two-hand footprint, right, on an auger. So going to a drill can be a little weird. Going to a drill without a handle can be a little dangerous. So if you have a drill that doesn't have a handle, you can still use it with the Razr. You can connect it to a clam drill plate. You can connect our Scouts, our Lights, and our Ultras to the drill plate. We have this little piece here. It's on the screen. It's the Ultra drill plate adapter. It's a $17 part, $18 part. You just basically throw that in there. It bolts it right up to the drill plate. You don't have to use the safety flange anymore because your drill isn't tightened on the chuck. It's actually bolted to the clam drill plate. So that makes it really nice and easy. We would never advise to use one of our augers or anybody's augers on a drill without the handle, just one-handed operation. It can be a little dangerous, especially if maybe you hit something in the ice that you didn't know was there, right? But yeah, you can run these all on the drill plate. And for the Scouts, you can run those on the drill plates as well. Very popular option. All you'll need there is a drill plate extension. Those are available in 12 or 20-inch lengths. And most anglers will go with a 20-inch extension on this. But this will allow you to take your Scout, and instead of chucking right up to your drill, you can use the Scout on the drill plate. You buy one of these 20-inch extensions, and it gives you that same flexibility in adjusting the height and having the variable auger height with the drill plate. So now you can have a youth angler drilling, down here at 36 inches, 40 inches, or 36 inches, or you can bring it up to normal level of 42-inch auger. But that is a great tool.
Another thing to point out here is that the drill plate extension will also work not only in the Scout but in the Light as well, right?
Correct. Yep.
So if you do, so we were talking about having the 4-inch Scout or a 5-inch Scout or whatever, and then maybe you wanted to get an 8-inch Light. You can use that on the same extension. You don't need to buy separate extensions for those. They are interchangeable. That way, all you have to do is take the Allen bolt out, swap your drill, the flightings, and then put it back together. So that's really nice too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. I mean, like I said, everything you're going to need if you buy the auger from one of our dealers or buy it through online through one of our dealers or from the Razr website, everything you need to get out on the ice as long as you have the drill is included in that box. If you decide, hey, I'm going to kind of customize this the way I want it, we make the parts for that, and you're able to do it.
That's awesome. So I think Matt must have missed our little spiel about re-drilling holes, but yeah, you can definitely hit those old holes with the curved blades. It works really well. And
curved blades.
And with the
ice wings,
with those ice wings, it really does make it a easy job to do.
Yeah, and you don't really have to think about, starting and stopping. There's a lot of companies out there that will say that's the best way to do it. Just drill the hole. Just drill the hole. Let's get fishing. Like I'm talking to my boys.
Bobby was asking if you have a quick release chuck for the brushless drill.
We do not. We don't manufacture anything like that. You can pick one of those up from Deep Freeze. The team over there at Deep Freeze does make a Razr compatible quick release. But you know, I still haven't used one. I'm looking forward to it. But usually, in my situation, I mean, like from a manufacturing and selling standpoint, it's an awesome accessory, but from actually like including something like that in the box, unless you were buying multiple augers of ours, I don't know why you would need it, because unscrewing your chuck is just as quick, and you're just adding one more component between the drill and the auger. And so, you know, but if for some reason you can take and go from like a 4-inch to an 8-inch, that's a quick little game changer. I don't know if you can go from an auger to, you know, putting in your stakes or your spikes for your ice screws for your hub houses. I don't know if that's a use for it, but I've seen them, and
yeah. You know. I actually have them on my Razr stuff. It works really well from Deep Freeze. They have a little attachment for the T style tent screws. They also sell their own. They also sell ice screws that have the same diameter chuck size for the quick release, so you can just pop off your drill all your screws in, put the auger back on. Switching between auger sizes is nice. It's worked really well for me. I think I'm on my 2nd year with it now, so nice. Yeah, it's working pretty well. One thing I will say is that anything, just like anything else that's metal and not stainless, just make sure that you squirt a little bit of like Deep Creep or some kind, maybe even a little bit of dry silicone or something on there, just to keep the water from rusting everything up. But otherwise, yeah.
Inside that adapter, inside the adapter. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You look like you had something to say.
No, I was just listening. No, this is no. You're like this is terrible to say. You're like our head mechanic for ice. I don't know. You like took this auger like it was your child, and you like wanted all these pieces to make it, to do all these things. And this is like, I can go out there, I can use all these tools. This is great. But this is your thing. So I was just letting you explain this. I'm like, this is great. That's what
Yeah, Baron, Bobby, if you guys want to message Crappie Junction, if you guys need help finding that stuff, we'd be more than happy to help you out with that, or any of your Razr questions. If you know, I know Nick's been Nick is a pretty busy guy, so if you guys message Razr and don't hear from Nick, you know, feel free to reach out to us.
If you've never heard from me, you never emailed.
Yeah. Well, that is true. We do get an email every time, but we're always here to help too. So,
yes, absolutely. What else? You know, Ice Fishing Expo, Wisconsin. I just had a note here today, but we're going to donate a couple augers for the prize patrol.
Ooh,
which is kind of nice. I hear there's a couple special folks walking around giving away things throughout the show. So if you're out in Wisconsin, I don't know how you're going to win it. I'm just saying, here's the stuff. You guys figure out the rest, but definitely don't miss that.
Yeah. So I guess, so if for people out there that haven't participated in the Wisconsin Fishing Expo at the end of February, they're bringing the tradition of the prize patrol over to the Wisconsin Ice Fishing Expo. It's something that Emily and I have been like kind of the ringleaders in for the last few years, and it's been really awesome. And so we're glad to see them bring that tradition to the ice show. Basically, we just wander around and we randomly pick people that look like they need something to win.
Nice.
Looks like they need a win.
As long as they look like a fisherman.
You know what? In terms of winning too, by the way, if you buy a Razr from any of the dealers at any of our shows this year, I don't know what they're doing in terms of pricing. I really don't. But every single auger is going to get a second set of replacement blades. So you're going to get an extra. It doesn't matter what you're buying, whatever Razr it is. The dealers are all equipped with their promo blades. So this weekend at Blaine, we got St. Paul, we got Wisconsin. Definitely, just a little incentive there. That's $40-$50 savings right there. So we'll throw those in. Come find us at across the hall from Wilderness Sports at the Oshkosh show.
Nice.
Andrew's asking, how does he get one of these sweet Razor hoodies?
Oh my gosh, hoodies.
Yeah.
I just got done explaining to these Josh and Emily beforehand. Like, I had probably 10 or some designs of different hoodies in my cart today, and then I just, it's hard to not see them and touch them and feel them, and I just deleted everything. I just closed out my tabs, and I told them too. I said, people are always asking for hoodies, and I never have them. So
we'll figure it out one year.
If you send us a message to sales@razorpower, razrpowr.com, sales@razorpower.com, and you let us know what size you are. We can just see if we've got something in stock, and if we do, we can send you a quick invoice and we can ship something out to you.
Ooh, there you go.
But no guarantees. I mean, I think a small and maybe a 4X.
Like limited edition.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be either small or 4X. These are the sizes I'm stuck with.
Cool.
Oh my goodness. So while you were talking about the expo and giving things away, that sparked Josh's memory that we've been doing kind of a random giveaway just at these podcasts leading up to the episode. So what we pull out is always random, but the funny thing is, I know I just want to because there's good stuff. But I've been adding some things to it because we have some fun things on the side. So, half is like in bags, so we'll see.
Are you guys giving this away like tonight?
Yeah, we're giving this away like right now.
Okay. So here, I want to sweeten the pot a little bit here. So I'll throw in I'll mail out a 4-inch Scout to whoever wins. However, you just gotta email me the name, address, and email so I can package out and send them a tracking number. But Razor will.
So then should we save this prize for next time and do
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that because I'm actually.
However you want to do it.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. To be honest,
I'm in the giving mood.
Okay, so the nice thing about this is that each of these podcasts leading up to this, we are doing a giveaway, and this is super exciting for us because we did not expect this either. So surprise for everybody. The way that we've been going about this is just anybody that makes a comment on the Crappie Junction page. So sorry to be specific, but it's hard to track all of these pages that we post to at the same time. And if you go to the Crappie Junction page, leave a comment there. Anybody who left anything, you will be entered to win.
And please go over to the Razor page and like their page as well as like our page. And we'll make sure that your name gets in the drawing as long as you get that comment in. So.
As long as that.
And if Tobin if Tobin doesn't win, you got to buy an auger this year.
Tobin, you still don't have one. Shame on you.
I am surprised. Oh my goodness. This is awesome. Yeah, this is awesome. I feel like I could keep sitting and talking about all of this. But that's a nice thing is that's why we have the expos coming up. So for anybody at home, if you do still have questions or comments or things, feel free to get a hold of us or Razor because Nick, you are awesome at getting back to people and all of those different things. Whoa, Josh is like typing and it's changing our whole screen.
It's fine. You just pay attention.
But it looks like he's probably putting in the Razor information, all of that. So, Nick, I had prepared you. One of the hardest questions I was going to ask you. Can you remind us the website for the Razor? For what's the Razor's website?
Yeah. So, usually I go to that whole spiel of Razor, RAZRPOWR.com, razorpower.com. Or you can just go to Razr, R-A-Z-R, iceaugers.com. RazrIceAugers.com. That's as simple as it gets. But yeah, we hope to see you at the website. We hope to see you add some things to your cart. We hope to see you on the ice with orange augers. And we hope
Yeah.
to see you with great fishing pictures after your adventure this year, or multiple adventures.
That's
Awesome.
I feel like I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
So Nick, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us, and thank you so much for dealing with our crazy technology issues in the beginning, because the end went a whole lot better than it started off.
Yeah.
It's all good. I appreciate you guys having me, and I thank you for the opportunity.
All right.
And to everybody at home, thank you guys for being here as well, because that is always a big part of the fun. And if we didn't catch you here tonight for the podcast, then we'll definitely see you at the Wisconsin Ice Fishing Expo.
Night, everybody.